I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
You can see there, breaking news. Stacy and Fernando, 18 years. Holy smokes. Gang. That's a long time. That's a long time.
Really
Goals.
long time. Yep.
Goals, dear listener.
All right. So tonight we have a very special stream, not only because it's their anniversary, but because they are naming this stream the Trivium Fest.
The Trivium Fest!
We are all at a festival right now. And the first song on our list is Trivium-Strife. And Fernando picked this one for the lady, Stacy. Obviously for their anniversary, and he said this is her motivation song. So we're gonna see what motivates you.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting. This is the official video, guys. So if you guys know the deal, if Trivium blocks us, which this particular channel, one of the benefits of this channel is that we're so small, we fly under the radar. So inshallah, this will still work. So here we go. But if we do get blocked, don't worry about it. I'll type in the chat and hang out. I don't think we will. We shall return, inshallah. Okay, here we go. Song number 1. This is Stacy's motivational song. Let's see, Stacy, if this is as motivational as you say. All right, let's do it. Trivium-Strife, let's go. Uh-oh, got the harmony.
throat begins to cauterize. This negativity's leaching. Any shred of composure, rationale is decayed and left me bound in madness. A peaceful calm, I stop for a balance unknown. This burden tortures me deep in my soul. I found that strife
shout out to the big homie Davey J. Glad to see you're alive and still kicking. Keep kicking ass, Davey J.
All right.
Circle pit in the house.
I have to say, Stacy, I'm very glad you guys started out with this very I do think it's motivational, and I think that it's actually a very positive song. So this pregnancy is kicking my butt. I'm almost halfway through, and like I was so tired. I fell asleep so hard. I felt like I died. I was literally sleeping so hard. And then I woke up like 15 minutes past when we were supposed to start this stream, and so now I'm like trying to wake myself up. And this song was the perfect song. Very, very, very heavy.
This is my shit.
I wonder if dang it. I just figured. I was gonna say I wonder if people that are generally like bogged down with feelings of guilt, if those are all like also people that have like anxiety. But you struggle with anxiety, and you're like the least guilt-ridden person I've ever known. Or that's what you project, and that's what you say.
Yeah, I don't really hang out with.
Did you used to? Yeah, but see, it still doesn't make what I.
Well, obviously,
wonder.
I mean, if you don't feel any guilt at all, you're a sociopath. It's just a matter of like how you process the guilt and how you deal with it. But yeah, my anxiety is clawing out from deep within me. It burns within as my throat begins to cauterize.
Good writing.
I was gonna say, man, like that just hits you. I'm really like glad that we're getting 4 songs, and I don't up from one band, and because like you don't really get like I feel like I'm gonna get a really good like angle on this band, like what they're about by listening to 4 songs. I don't know if they're on the same record.
I agree.
Like, I don't know if they're on the same record though.
Yeah.
Like, is it all from the same record or is it just a selection?
I don't know. To me, it doesn't matter. I think it's cool just having them back to back because it's like if they were like, oh, was the food good? If you got to have like 4 different plates of nachos and try them all, you'd be able to be like, yes, these people definitively make good nachos.
Yeah. No, I really like that because like I'm not familiar with Trivium as a band, but like I feel like after tonight I'm gonna be like, okay, I got a good like. Davey J just had a grenade thrown at him. A grenade was thrown at me. It's far enough away that I didn't seriously get hurt. It's fine, only a flesh wound. Good times.
Praying for quick healing for that.
Was it a training accident? It happens a lot.
I like this one because, obviously the way that they talk about anxiety, like anxiety has that effect. And, a lot of times you'll switch the word anxiety out for fear because oftentimes that is what our anxiety is just lots of fear.
Yeah.
And the way that they explained it as like, kind of like clawing from within you, that's like, whoa. Okay. But what I liked was when obviously the pre-chorus, I reach for calm. I starve for a balance unknown. This burden tortures me deep in my soul. So I didn't feel like the person was just like accepting the anxiety and actually they go further. I found that strife won't make the bleeding stop, nor will it take away the pain. I feel like this search is all in vain and I struggle to find my way. So the song doesn't necessarily give you the answer of what to do or how to get out of the anxiety.
Yeah.
But it does explain that the person is reaching for calm, they're reaching for balance, and they're trying to, and they've recognized that the strife that comes from when they're within the throes of their anxiety doesn't help them. It doesn't make things better. I know that when my anxiety gets high, I want you to engage, let's say we're going somewhere. I don't want you to say relax. I want you to be like, well, let me pack this shit up faster. Then maybe that will help. You know what I mean? But anytime we get in those situations, oftentimes it all does end up working itself out, and I understand you're probably seeing that from before the situation starts. But
yeah.
I'm not seeing that, and so while I'm very frustrated with you for not engaging and helping me, but rather being like, it's gonna be fine, and just going on your merry way of the situation, when we got to the park and we didn't have everything that I felt like we needed, and then it just worked itself out.
When was that?
Remember I said, okay, well, the boys haven't eaten, so we need to stop and get something for them to eat before we get to the park. and you like pulled in to get them something to eat and the line was too long. You're like, I'm not doing this. I'm standing up for myself. I'm like, well, if you had told me, I would have packed something, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And we got to the park and we were there for, whatever.
I told you, I said they're
whatever.
not going to collapse. They're going to be okay.
I never thought that they would collapse, but you're off playing basketball, and so are they going to be whining the whole time because of their
I was playing basketball with Johan, another one of our children.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm still the one that's going to have to sit there and listen to the whining. But they really didn't. One of them asked once, like, where's the food at? And I was like, whatever. And then, I mean, they ate when we left. They were so busy playing. And I thought to myself, wow, I really overpacked with Selah when she was little.
Yeah, I did. Like, that's always a tricky thing when people talk about, like, helping somebody with anxiety. Because to me, saying, well, they're not going to collapse. And no, I'm not pulling into Burger King. Like, to me, I'm like, I'm helping because I'm like, she'll see. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, it doesn't help. It was just annoying because I'm like, obviously, I don't think that they're going to collapse.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm always the long game guy. Like, I mean, there have been very few times when something that's significant and life changing hits you instantaneously. Most of the time, it's a gradual kind of situation where you have multiple examples to yourself, like, oh, it didn't turn out that bad. So a lot of it just has to do with like how people interpret what help is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what happens is because you're the so there's times where stuff hasn't like worked out, but then it worked out for me. But I just say, whew, I just got lucky there. I never say, well, that's the principle of it. But because you force the principle basically all the time, in my opinion, then I see the same pattern. I get super frustrated about it. Then when we get there, it works itself out. But I've successfully told myself it only worked out because you were there.
Yeah, like I'm some like magic rabbit's
wow,
foot.
It always works out for you.
Yeah, it's not that. It's just a lot of
That's funny.
my Dr. Petzel told me that she said it's scarier to walk to the electric chair than to get electrified.
Yeah,
And
okay, I can see that.
that kind of gave me a paradigm to say, okay, like the thing is, people talk about the fear of the unknown, but what happens with anxiety is people start creating a bad future. So they go, if this doesn't happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. So you create all these bad futures, none of which exist, but you keep living in all those different contingencies and go, well, if this happens, this is... And my thing is just like, okay, well, let's go. And then I would rather get in there, let the bad thing happen, and then, make adjustments. But fretting about all the counterfactuals of what might happen in a given situation, it creates more stress than the actual situation itself.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I've spent a large portion of my life around a certain crew of people that their subculture was to worry about impending death. Like, that person could die, this person could die, and so... trying to do everything right by way of that person so that way when they die, you could essentially not feel guilty as much about their death because you did what you could while they were alive. And then I didn't realize, like, it was, the culture was so, like, it's weird because one of the people was in, like, a sort of a counseling type session. And one of the questions that got asked, they were like, well, death is a common theme of stuff that we discuss at the dinner table. And the person was like, what? It was like a really shocking moment. When the person told me that story, I didn't even think it was that shocking. I was like, that's weird, whatever. But then when I became part of this family, like, you don't want to joke about it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to, like, it's way. So I had to, like,
anybody in our circle die?
Well, like, my meme used to always say, well, I might go today, like, this might be the day, like, stuff like that. Like, obviously, it's not, you're probably not going today, but just, saying those kinds of things.
Speaking of which, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Damn.
I know.
Yeah.
So, what I'm driving at is that once I became part of that circle, you kind of, like, forced that issue for me. And I actually feel now that I'm talking about it that I feel you've forced a lot of issues, but I'm not really sure if there was any other way out of those without that push. But anyway, so on that front, I realized the other day, I was like, wow, it's been like 3 years since I've really stressed out about like all the things that could possibly go wrong with the kids. Actually, It was today, because Ryan looks up at the sky and he said, "Hi, Zoe. Hi, Dorian." I panicked. I said, "Oh my gosh, she friggin' gotten another. She did something." So I'm calling them. What's going on? Nothing. They're fine. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, okay, I was thinking out. Losing it here.
Because they're at. By the way, shout out to Lunatic. This is metal as hell. Sorry. Oops. Aww. Happy anniversary to my parents. That's awesome. Yeah. Gang. Yeah, but he talks about a bunch of negative emotions here. Fear, guilt, all that, reaching for calm, trying to find a balance.
And talking about guilt burying me alive in a coffin, criticized.
Yeah, I mean...
It's like that. It's real. That is how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
I shouldered the blame and dug this hole for me to lay in.
Yeah, I mean, it's... The guy he's in bad shape. But what's fascinating is I found that strife won't make the bleeding stop. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me like he's specifically creating conflicts in his life to distract him from his anxiety, his fear, and his guilt. So I found the strife won't make the bleeding stop.
Well, yeah, but
nor will it take away the pain.
The strife can push the blame temporarily to somebody else. But what ends up happening is when you have that strife, you push the blame to them like, well, they're not helping or whatever the situation is.
Uh-huh.
But then then you end up feeling worse about yourself for creating the strife situation when everything ended up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it all comes back to you anyway. So then you shoulder it and you bury yourself.
Yeah, it's not a healthy. It's a pretty crazy. It's a pretty crazy cycle.
Motivated by. Like, I wonder, are you...
Well, the music in the background is pretty...
Is it just the music, or is the topic also motivating for you? To, like, kind of, like, basically get out of your own way and just reach for balance and go forward. That would be,
Yeah, that's a crazy thing about metal, is that metal can, a lot of times, tell you what the problem is. Not necessarily say, I have a solution, but just tell you what the problem is. And then as you... incarnate into the music and relate to it, that itself becomes the solution. It's a very strange paradox, but and obviously you can swing the other way and get too down in the dumps or depressed or angry, but like, he's not saying I've got the solution. What he's saying is, I've come far enough, I have enough self-awareness to see that this is the source of my strife. It's the guilt, the anxiety, all this. And now, looking back, I'm seeing that the strife, the creation of this extra strife to deal with these issues they're not working. It's not fixing the problem. It's not solving the problem.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, in the context of these guys' anniversary, I mean, it's something that in a relationship, if you're this kind of person, you're going to directly interface with it. And I believe it's one of the these 18 years, it's one of the reasons that as a couple, if you can master that kind of dance, you're going to stay together for a long time. Obviously, these two have, because they've been married probably 2, 3 times, 4 times longer than we have.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's how you do it. Like, if you want some real practical, you know, marriage advice, that's how you stay married, is you're able to kind of do that dance and strike that balance and then be there for each other or have understanding with each other and all that kind of.
And I mean, it's, you know, obviously we're not seeing into the minutia of your relationship, but
right.
I mean, well, this has been going on for a while. But you know, he buys her songs, and she, you know what I mean, like this kind of back and forth, like romantic song banter between the two of them.
Yeah, they've got an amazing relationship, 100%.
That's really cool. Like when we were at the park today, all the parents were leaving the teacher conferences, and like,
is that what that was? Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming that it was.
Yeah, I was like, the hell,
or whatever. And like, I noticed that a lot of the couples coming out, like none of them. You could tell that they were together because people kind of start dressing alike and like looking alike in their vibe, but they were all like separated. They might be like with the kids, even if the kids were like older, but like none of them, like the couples were together. And
oh, really?
Yeah, and I thought that was really sad. That was something that I was always like, I never want to be that couple, so I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that everything stays good. Then I went through a divorce. And then, you know, here we're married, and like we actually like argue or fight about stuff, and sometimes I'm like, I hate that, but at the same time, I'm like, well, we're both being able to say how we feel, and hopefully that makes for longevity, and that we wouldn't be wishing the other one. Well, these people looked like the other person didn't even exist. No, they looked like they did exist because they looked very miserable, but they did exist.
Oh my God.
So, anyway, really like this song. Looking forward to some more trivia
Yes.
in this Trivium Fest.
Yes.
And happy anniversary to I think it's so cute that he calls her Lady Stacy. To Lady Stacy and Sir Fernando.
Yeah. I need to keep Fernando's boys in stock. We've got two wonderful girls that
Perhaps you've been trained.
perhaps you could loan us a few of your sons. No bullshit.
Right.
I stay up at night pacing about the girls and their selection. That is something I stress about a lot. I generally,
Do you have anxiety?
all right. What do you get the song?
9.8.
9.6. Really, really good song. Very motivational. Actually, I want to kill the stream right now and go play my guitar, but I'm not.
Up next is Trivium Bleed Into Me.
We'll check you out later if you're in regular YouTube world. Sorry, check us out again, 7 p.m. EST. But the rest of you beautiful people, Goth Mama, all the rest of you, stay where you are. Vin out.
Sori out.
Go.